So, a little bit of intro for you.
Yeah, I think there's two ways I look at it. You can go who I am and then what you actually do. So for me, who I am, I'm a sensitive man, but I'm a winner. And then I'm obviously a father to my son, a partner. I've obviously got a business here locally in Bedford in terms of the coaching side of it, and then a football manager at Real Bedford. But I think we're so quick as humans to put a label on it in terms of, I'm a business owner, I do this. Actually, who are you?
Yeah.
So that's why I always go with both. Yes, I have a business and I'm a football manager, but I'm a sensitive man and I'm a winner. And then that, for me, that comes from childhood. The sensitivity part, I was that little boy that cried going into school, hanging onto your mum's leg. But also I was that boy when there was something competitive within the household there was four of us, so with my three brothers, if I was the one who lost, the Monopoly board was getting thrown at them. And then there's...
Four brothers is always competitive.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's that kind of, that winner side, what I class as the darkness and the sensitive part. And I think my opinion is that to go and be successful, you've got to have both and stay on that line. If you go too far into the sensitive part, you can't make those hard decisions, but you've still got the empathy with the people you're working with. And then the darkness is where you have to make the big decisions, the things that are going to make your team better in terms of football, your business, and also it's about staying on that line, because you don't want to be that person that is constantly aggressive or angry towards people. So
and you don't want to. It's that balance of, you don't want to get everything is an emotional decision or an emotional reaction, but you also don't want it to be the aggressive or the winning mentality always, because there's a very fine.
Yeah, I talk about it a lot with my performance coach that I have. It is that line. You have to. Look, sometimes you'll creep the wrong side of both, and it's just being conscious of that to pull yourself back onto it. Because certainly in a football environment, you could find yourself going more towards the aggressive. If you lose a game or you see something you might not be happy with, you want to go into that kind of aggressive mode. But ultimately, that way doesn't work with people. And you don't know what's going on in their life or what's happening, especially in a part-time environment where what's happened all day at work for them.
Yeah.
So it's always pulling yourself into that line. So in terms of who I am, that is it really.
I think you're bang on in terms of, and I'm a good example of it. Is not only do I when people ask me around, especially in a work environment, of who you are, or business owner, I'm this, I'm that. I do it to myself as well. I'm a director, so I have to do this, or I'm a business owner, so I have to make this decision, or I think this way. And actually, fundamentally, more importantly, I'm a dad, I'm a brother, I'm a this, I'm a that. Do you know what I mean? They're what's really important. Yeah. But you get so easily tied into being the label that you've been set yourself, or and it's probably not the best way of thinking.
Yeah, I think we all do it, don't we? I had a career in football, so I was always perceived from the outside world or even family, you're Rob the footballer. And then when you're no longer, well, what am I?
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone from Rob the footballer to, what am I? Loss of identity, all of those things. So I kind of had to, that's why I come away from that labelling. It's more who I am.
As a person,
That's ultimately, that's what people want to know, right? I'm a football manager who actually really cares.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that is the thing, who really cares about the labels? Because especially we're in a world where everything is so false and everything is so not real a lot of it's not real on social media, or you go on LinkedIn and people are so hide behind these ridiculous job titles to make themselves feel great. Who really cares? There's so much more of an appetite for seeing the person behind the job, or the day in their life, or what it looks like on a weekend. People want to know the realities of who people are.
Yeah, we don't get enough of that, do we? Like you say, and even obviously you're starting to see more of these day in the life, but that's still what they want you to see, right?
Totally,
you're not actually learning about them.
No. No one ever gets up and says, "Oh, I'm absolutely shattered. I didn't sleep well, and I've got to get. Oh, I'm stressed about this. I'm stressed about that," because that's not pretty, is it?
But that's real life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That is it. You wake up, you might feel rubbish.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
That's my mindset. You quite often wake up like that. But what am I going to do? Get up, go gym, make myself feel better through that. Saunas, cold plunges. It's all of those things I think that you don't see. It's like you said, everyone puts out what they want people to see.
Yeah.
Everyone chases this happiness, but what is that? It's a temporary feeling, right?
Yeah, totally.
It doesn't happen constantly, but that's why social media is, for me, causing so many problems to young children working in education, myself and the business. It's some of the stuff you hear within schools and what children are sort of aspiring to be and how they want to look. It's purely social media.
It's wrong. I think my therapist always used to say to me that happiness is momentary, but contentment is long term. Like if you're content in your life, you're happy is those fleeting moments. But if you don't have the contentment, you don't get the position to get to happy.
Yeah.
But also, I think in the social media side, and we've sort of touched on this a few times in the podcast, that anyone can get a picture, put a filter on it, and put a night for the week they're on holiday, and fill their social media up because they I don't know, spread it out over 3 months and look at what their life is. But actually, they could be still paying that holiday off for the next 6 months and go back to their miserable job they don't enjoy. Yeah. And body image and all that sort of stuff. I think it's just... I was having a really interesting conversation with the chap the other day, and he's in his 60s, and he said, I think that relationships, friendships, everything now are way more difficult than they used to be when I was younger, because everything's compared. Like marriages, his thing, I don't see a world where marriage can be not compared all the time, because social media, you're comparing what the woman looks like on the beach or what a man's looked at. You go on social media and there's bikinis, topless men, there's more hard workout than you've ever done in your life. Yeah. It's just so hard not to compare all the time.
No, it is. And like we said there, especially with children, me now as an adult, I used to do that. Obviously learning from it, I don't tend to so much now. It's something that I'm aware of and conscious of. And I think that's the big thing, isn't it? If you can be conscious of it, or you find yourself scrolling in that moment, it's like, no, actually, that person definitely isn't feeling like that 24/7. Yeah. It's an impossible thing. Yeah. You can come out of it quite quickly, but then the other flip side, teenagers, they don't. They are constantly going to be comparing themselves, and that's the sad thing, because obviously then they're going to have issues internally. But yeah, I think it's. But look, you don't want to go fully negative on it, because there obviously is some great things from
it.
Totally,
and that's what we do for. I was kind of devil's advocate. I do that for a job. I think social media is brilliant and powerful. It's just it has to be used in the right way. I'm interested about your professional football career, because everyone always sees things as you said. You see things from the sidelines, or you see things on social media, or whatever it may be, and I've known a couple of people that have been in around the professional footballing world, and only having brief conversation with them, you realise how brutal it is. Yeah.
Look, we'll start with the positives. It was a dream, right? Yeah. It's what I always wanted to do. Growing up as a kid, playing in the park, wanting to be a footballer. And then you actually get that first professional contract, incredible. The moment with your family, signing it, all of those things are what most children dream to do. Totally. And then once you're actually inside it, it's brutal. The fear then that starts creeping in, the having to perform at a high level, what you're eating, the sleepless nights, the constant worries, then it's hard, because you're chasing the next contract. Yeah. If I don't play well, I'm out of the team, and if you don't get that next contract, what am I going to do? So I think that's where now football is slowly trying to help with that, in terms of helping footballers, because the fears are normal. Yeah. But when you're in that sort of masculine world, you're not going to talk about that. You're not going to go to your manager and go, I'm actually scared here. You're just not going to do that. Yeah. But that is high performers are going to have that. The fears if I don't win, but it's just brushed under the carpet. So I think the more you're seeing it more on socials, your Djokovic, Federer's talking about it, and it's actually accepting that it's fine to feel like that.
Yeah, and it's totally normal.
Yeah, and I think that's looking back now. I wish I had that kind of just accept it. Like the fears are there. Who cares? Go and play free. But you don't. You play with like shoulders up, your nerves, and that ultimately affects your performance. So yeah, you have all that, and then when you actually do get told you're not good enough, you're being let go. Those moments are hard, and
I can imagine.
Obviously living away from sort of home, having to move, taking your family, one contract there, then that's gone. You're going over there. Those things are hard, but ultimately, you're fortunate enough to do something that I dreamed of doing. But yeah, it's a brutal industry. Yeah,
because I've always sort of seen that as whether you're, and my only kind of Premier League is what everyone can easily relate to, isn't it? Right, because that's what you see. But even if you look at younger players in the Premier League, that they might be on a contract that it sounds like a lot of money, but if they're only getting a 2-year contract, but in that 2 years they might be in half a season here, then they're on loan here, that's a lot mentally. It's a hell of a lot, and yes, that's a lot of money in 2 years. But if they don't renew their contract, even at whatever level, right? If you've got a 2-year contract that sounds like a lot a week, but you don't know whether the next one's going to come or if it's going to come, you've got that money's got to last you potentially 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah, and also who is around them. So yeah, they are getting that money. What are they doing with it?
Yeah.
Obviously, if you have got that money, you're gonna kind of live to those means. You're gonna have a mortgage that is high, a car payment that's high. Just in general, you're gonna go out for meals that cost more. So
and it's hard not to do that when everybody else, your friendship circle, everyone else is doing it, right?
Yeah, I think it's probably a natural thing to do, especially when you're an 18-year-old boy that gets given this kind of money. That's why it's key who is around them. Are they investing into certain things? Which again, it is a lot better now, but certainly 10, 15, 20 years ago, you even see now the amount of ex-footballers that are declaring bankruptcy because they've not looked after their money. And then they obviously get the flack for it, but it's hard.
To the normal person, when they were earning 50 grand a week, 25 grand a week, that's what people earn in a year. And it's hard to get your head past that. But like you say, when you live in that life, but they might have earned that for, again, only 2 years, that's still a hell of a lot of money. But when your mortgage is, like you say, thousands and thousands a month, and you've got 4 cars that are X amount, yes, they're your decisions you made. But when you're in that, it must be difficult.
Yeah, well, yeah, because like you said, you're gonna spend it.
Yeah.
Also, then you've got a lot of players when they finish their career, they get divorced, and then they're losing money. Then addictions, gambling, drink, drugs. You see it all the time in high performance athletes when they finish. So yeah, I can have that kind of empathetic feeling towards them. I've never earned that kind of money, but when I see sort of people go, oh, well, he's earned this, life isn't as easy as that. That's not how it works. And
it's also the fact of the money doesn't buy you happiness conversation, and also not every, but a lot of the time when you look at sports people, when you do interviews with them, there's so much insecurity and doubt and lack of confidence and all these things that are built in that is just the biology of being an elite sports person, isn't it?
I think that's what makes them great, right?
Yeah, totally.
Because they have all those fears, the self-doubt, so it drives them to push those kind of fears away, right?
Yeah.
They delve into the gym and make themselves as strong as they possibly can. I think that's the same in business, right? You have the pressures and the fears, and that's what gets you up every day to work hard, and to show that courage to continually turn up to do it. But yeah, the insecurities and doubts are definitely something I can sort of understand in terms of a performance element, because certainly in football you're riddled with those fears, and if you can accept that that's normal and not fight against it, you will come out on top. And I think that's kind of the hardest part to do, those accept them. People, especially in football, they tend to run away from those fears, whether that's drink, gambling, all those kind of addictions. They don't actually accept them.
Because there's also, I read recently, there's a lot more gambling and a lot of addictions in elite football than you'd kind of think.
Oh, loads, yeah. It's certainly gambling and drink are two massive ones in football. Obviously, the FAs are trying to clamp down on obviously football betting, but obviously people aren't going to do it. But you're not going to take away the addictions because ultimately it's people running away from how they actually feel.
Yeah.
But I think that again that does come down to the acceptance. But again, that's easier said than done, isn't it? If you haven't got the right people around you, or you're not seeking to speak to the right therapist, or if the football club hasn't got a psychologist, obviously now at the elite level they all will have, or they'll have someone for the players. And I suppose now for me, now I'm in that kind of leadership management role and I want to go into the full-time environment eventually. It's also a big part for a manager is to try and sort of see these things or get to know your players on a human level, and because if you want them to perform for you week in, week out, you've got to know about them and what's going on.
Totally, yeah.
And I think that's the hardest part, isn't it? You don't, just in life in general, you probably don't get enough of that, especially us being men. It's not really something that's cool to talk about or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's getting better. I think there's a lot more. It's still a long way to go, I think. I think, in any role, whether you're a football manager, whether you're a manager of a team in business, you have to understand the people that you work with. You have to get to know the people you work with. And I think you can't... People... When I first started out in work, I felt like I was a number. And I think that was sort of just a big business and that's how it is. But I think it's definitely shifting more, especially in my experience of work and how I try to work with people, and what I've seen is you can't just accept people to turn up and work and go home anymore.
No.
Rightly so.
Yeah. The way I look at it for me is now that I'm in football, if you as the leader can show a vulnerability, then you will get more connection with who you're working with. Yeah. Whereas if you act like you're this tough person, that I don't think you get that human connection. No. So I've got a big thing on it. Is I think it's vulnerability, acceptance, and then all you're left with is sweat, which is your hard work. Yeah. And then courage. That's how I see it, especially in football. If you can have those, vulnerability, acceptance, and then you've got your sweat and courage, work as hard as you can, and the courage to just play free in football terms. Yeah. I believe then you're going to get connection with your players, your staff, and you slowly create a culture and environment where the floor, in terms of when you have meetings, it becomes more open. Yeah. And look, that's hard because as a leader to show that vulnerability. Yeah.
And when to show it.
Yeah, right times. Yeah, we had a game, was it 2? We went to Stamford away, and on the way to the game, I had a phone call from my mum saying my nan was poorly at the time anyway. Nan might not make it. So I went into the players, and I literally just went, I don't want to be here. I've got no interest in being here. I want to be with my family, but I am here. Yeah. But I don't want to be here. And you could see people, like lads looking, thinking, whoa. Yeah. We were 3-0 up at half time. And that's just because there's a human connection. In that moment, they would have felt something, not speaking for them, but they'd have been like, oh, wow. Yeah. Because usually you go, football is your team talk, we do this, or rah, beat your chest.
Yeah, getting some music, getting amped up. Yeah.
But I just told them the truth. I didn't want to be there. Yeah. So why would I go in and act? Because then they see through that. Yeah. You're not silly. No. Yeah. I think if you can have that connection with people, in especially in football, where it is so, like you've got to be the aggressive and all of that. Yeah. People are starting to see through that kind of that way of being. That's how majority of my managers were. It was all about sort of beating your chest and you're an animal and all that. Whereas what is that? It's not. It's all just flaky talk, isn't it?
It is, and it's not really. Because what does that mean? What substance does that have to make you? And again, you watch that, if you watch that at a high level, I remember I used to watch someone like Joe Hart before he went out, play for England, and he was so amped up and and then he makes mistakes because you're just not even in the moment. No. You're so kind of caught up in this moment of being a beast or being this or being that you're not focused, you're not concentrating.
And I think there might be times where you feel like that and you can act like that.
Yeah,
you can't be like that 24/7.
You can't perform all the time at that level. It's not sustainable either.
So I think it's actually just true, isn't it? How you actually feel. So for me, it's if before the game I feel like I've got loads of energy, I'll do that. If I don't, then I won't. If at half time I feel angry, I'll show the anger. I mean, but I'm not. You can't. I think especially in football, what managers will do is, we're losing. I want to go and be angry. You can't act being angry. That, people just see straight through it. Or if you're doing it too often, which again happens a lot in sport, is other managers you've got to be angry, you've got to demand all this, but it's not real. It's not actually how you feel.
So
I think if you go in and just be who you are and how you feel, if you feel calm, act calm. If you feel intense and angry, go and do that.
Yeah,
and just deliver what you feel is what you're feeling.
I think there's comparisons across life as well, isn't there? I think that whether it's football management, business management, or whatever it may be, I think there's a lot of overthinking that goes into it. Yeah. That actually, that's just the fundamentals of normal interactions, isn't it? There's no point, if you feel emotional, that's okay.
It is.
If you're feeling good, if you're feeling bad, if you're feeling up, feeling down, just living in that.
Yeah.
And not trying. I'm a good example of sort of putting a mask on everything and always kind of turn up every day. Everything's good. Yeah. But this doesn't get you anywhere.
No.
And like you say, people start seeing through it.
Yeah. Again, I was definitely that person. This has more been a recent thing for me, where I've been working with my performance coach. Is truth. It's just say the truth, and then just be the truth. Be who you are.
Yeah.
Because people will see through it.
Yeah.
And again, in footballs, they certainly will see through it. And if you are that kind of aggressor and angry all the time, it's just not going to work. And in the same token, you can't be sort of too flaky and just let things happen. There has to be a certain element of both sides of it. But certainly for me now, in terms of my leadership, moving forward is just being like truthful with
being
it.
Real,
yeah. Because I think that's the best way to be. And then at least you haven't. If it doesn't work out and you lose your job or you get sacked as a manager, it will happen. At least you can go away from it and go, you know what? At least I haven't sort of tried to be fake, tried to be someone I'm not. I've tried to copy this person.
Yeah. And the thing is, that's life, isn't it? Whether it works out or it doesn't. If you can walk away knowing you've done the right thing for you, the right way, and how you feel comfortable doing it, like I say, it's going to happen. There's not many managers that don't get sacked at some point.
But everyone is going to, you
that's
will
how,
get
that's
sacked.
How it ends,
And like you say, it's you want to walk away from it going, I did what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it, because you can easily get caught up. You can go and look at your elite level managers and think, oh, right, well, I want to be like them.
Play that style or whatever,
It's not going to work.
Because
that's them.
Yeah.
And then you've got to find who you are. And it takes time in management. I've made loads of mistakes, but as long as you're trying to sort of learn from those, I think you can improve and hopefully end up having a good career in the game, which is obviously what I want to do.
How did you find the transition from being a player to a manager? Was it easier, or did you have to put a lot of sort of effort and work into that change?
I always, from young, I always wanted to go into management and be a football manager. So I always kind of, sort of growing up, sort of in football, and then obviously having the career. And I always asked questions to staff and why they done certain things. So I always had a kind of log in my head that I wanted to do it and why they done certain things. And then obviously certain training sessions that I liked, I would sort of make notes on and keep them because I knew I wanted to transition into it. But it's obviously difficult because I was professional footballer, then went into semi-professional, and that's a hard transition in itself, going from doing it every day to 2 evenings a week, and having the understanding that those players have got normal jobs. They might be
Yeah.
bricklaying all day and then they're going to train. And
It's a big commitment, isn't it?
yeah, it's massive.
I think I'm always very impressed by the fact that that's a pure love for football, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you doing a full-time job and then training twice a week and then depending on what league you're in, you could be travelling a long way for a game.
And also to take all that, think of the amount of pressure. You've got a job pressure already.
Yeah.
And then football on top of it. Most will have just one or the other, right? So to go football, family life, all of that. Business, what your job is, and your family, and then to go I'm just going to do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday football on top of it.
Yeah.
Most
And people expect you to win.
Yeah.
You've got a crowd of people that want you to win, expect you to win, and might have travelled to go and watch you. It's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, look, now in football in part-time, it's becoming better paid.
Yeah.
So the financial gain is there as well for players. But yeah, it is, for me, that was the harder transition, going from professional to semi-professional.
Right.
Because obviously the transition from semi-professional to manager kind of stays, it was Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and I'm still Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday in terms of actual being with the players. Obviously, in terms of what you have to do away from it, it is like a full-time role in itself. But yeah, the transition from professional to part-time was very hard because my initial transition, I couldn't understand why players weren't taking it as serious, and we would lose a game in training and I would be getting sort of upset and angry, and then I remember a manager sort of pulling me to the side and going, well, you see him, he's been roofing all day, he's been teaching all day, he's been doing this, and I was like, oh yeah, I understand. Whereas I would only just transition, so I was sort of starting up the business that I've got, but still basically living like a full-time footballer. So I didn't understand how they felt. I was like, well, why are they still laughing and joking after we've lost a game or something? It's like, well, yeah, because they've been working all week. This is kind of their release.
Yeah, totally.
So understanding that was hard. But once I did, and then once I had the business myself, you're like, oh, yeah, actually, this is where I can forget about all of that and just play free and just enjoy my football. But yeah, the management side is been great. I love it. I love doing it. I love trying to learn more about it and speaking to people. It's probably people in football would be surprised by actually preferring the management than the playing. Yeah, everyone usually would say you miss the playing, and I do, but I get such a sort of rush and adrenaline out of the management side. If you've prepared all week and then you go and win, it's like, as a collective, we've kind of done our job. When you're a player, you literally just go and you kind of just concentrating on you.
Yeah.
I want to play well. I want to score. I want to make sure I do this right, that.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're manager, you're thinking about everything. You're talking to staff. What do you think about this? How should we train them this week? What distance should we get them to cover? What sprints? All of the different things that come into football. And then when you see it working on a Saturday and you
That
see how they're
satisfaction must be
celebrating,
great,
it's like, I get more of a buzz with that. When I was a player, it was like, we've won. Like,
Did I get an assist? Did I score?
yeah, or like, I've got to now go and prepare again for the next day. Obviously, you do as a manager. The moment of winning is very short.
I always think that's nuts, especially when you've got like quite a compact schedule.
Yeah.
You've kind of got game. You might have that evening to celebrate, and then you're back onto it the next day, and it's.
And I think something I learned quickly. I was very, especially early in management, it was like we'd win, then I'd be straight in the office thinking about the next. And I actually, sort of more I learned, and I was like, actually, what am I doing? Why am I doing that? I actually enjoy it. Yeah. So now I actually kind of
take that moment,
give myself time to go, or even if we've lost, just to shut off.
Yeah.
Just as you know what, I'm not going to watch the game back intensely tonight and sort of not speak to anyone. Whereas now I'm like, right, it's done. What can I actually do? We lost the game.
Can't control
it's done. Who cares? Let's park it, move on. Because you can easily get into that. You've lost, right? I'm going to go home, watch why, try and find everything out why. Don't speak to your partner, neglecting your family.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm kind of moving away from that now. Is what can you actually do once you've
yeah.
lost all one? Well, it's done, right?
Yeah, you can't
do
control
anything.
it. You've gone to the next one, and yeah, when you've got like a compact schedule of like quite a lot of games, how is it difficult to plan, or like well for each one? To say you've got, because especially bad weather, you might have had something frozen, or you can't play somewhere because it's water or whatever it may be. You might have 3 games quite quickly, right?
Yeah.
Is the preparation difficult?
Yeah. So if you go, obviously, part time is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So if you had a game on a Saturday and you've got a free week, so you've got your Tuesday, Thursday to train, that's perfect. You can plan, prepare, ready for your Saturday. But if you go Saturday game, Tuesday game, you have no contact time with the players.
Wow.
So you've got no training, so no rest and recovery, no analysis really. So what we tend to do is we'll get the opposition game, and then we can sort of do the analysis side of it, and we'll send it to the group to watch. Then you're trusting them to watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have no contact time with them at all, no training.
Wow.
So you're literally just off words, isn't it? And what you show them. So that planning is really hard. And also for players, isn't it? Say you've gone Saturday, Tuesday games.
Yeah.
Then you've got Thursday training, which has to be lighter a little bit. Then you're straight into a game again. Then you can go Saturday, Tuesday again. The amount of times you're Saturday, Tuesday game, Thursday train, Saturday, Tuesday game, Thursday train is relentless.
Yeah.
But also, if you ask players, they prefer games.
Game.
They would love to just continually play games. But yeah, in terms of managing and staff for the planning side, that can be difficult. Because obviously, when you're full time, game Saturday, sometimes now they'd recover it on a Sunday, train on a Monday. So you get a lot more planning and preparation time. But yeah, for the players, they probably love what I did. I loved when it went Saturday, Tuesday. Cause you could just play games.
Yeah,
that's ultimately what you do it for.
If you're winning, it's great.
Yeah. If you're losing, not so.
Not so much fun, yeah. So the business side of it, you started that straight out of when you kind of that transition to semi-pro.
Yeah. So finished full time when I was 29, and my friend had a similar business. So sports coaching in schools, so delivering all the PE, extracurricular clubs, half-term camps. He had one in Luton, and he did it because he didn't make it professionally, so he started that straight away. So I, on my days off and stuff like that, I would go in and see what it was all about. So I knew when I was coming to the end, that's what I was going to do. So yeah, I set that up, and I was fortunate enough at that time financially, I could employ one of my friends full time. So we kind of built it up together,
right.
And he had contacts within primary schools in Bedford. So yeah, we built that up, and we go into primary schools and we deliver the PE, and then, like I said, the sort of extracurricular clubs, so after school clubs, breakfast clubs, lunch clubs, and then in the half terms when they're off, we sort of run multi-sports camps, because parents obviously still need to go to work, so we're sort of that provider for them and look after the children in a sporting environment.
How did the starting and growing the business? What was that process like?
Yeah, it actually went really well, to be fair. I think it probably helped being an ex-professional footballer as well. You kind of, when you sent the emails into schools, they were quite receptive, and I had a lot of meetings early, and it built quite quickly, to be honest. I was fortunate enough, one of the main schools we were in, the head teacher really values sport, so we're kind of in there every day now, delivering their PE. So yeah, it built up quickly, and I was able to get other staff in, and sort of add different sides to it in terms of like we now have 2 girls that run like dance stuff. So we've sort of grown in that. Initially, it was just all football. And then, we've branched off and we deliver all PE and now sort of going into the dance and gymnastics side of it as well.
Nice.
So, I can't sit here. Yeah, it's hard, but I can't go, I had no one was responding to me. You know, like sometimes you send those emails, no one gets back to you. I was quite fortunate where The schools are very good, and I went in and done assemblies and spoke to the children, and it grew quite quickly. I suppose the problems and the hard parts started later on with sort of staff sickness and illness, and having to solve those kind of problems, which obviously I'd never had to do. But I'm fortunate on that side. The sort of the people that work for me, one's my brother, and he'll go into work if he's got a cold or whatever. He's not ringing me up saying he can't do it. And then my close friend, and then the two girls that do the dance, they're brilliant. So yeah, staff wise, I've been quite lucky. I haven't had like a high turnover of staff.
Nice.
It's been consistent in the business side of it, and the schools we work with have been amazing. And yeah, we've been the schools that we're in. We've been from the start, so like 9 years now, 9 years. Sort of build up those relationships with the teachers and the head teachers. So yeah, it's been brilliant, and it's just something sort of certainly for me is kind of passing on that experience to sort of like primary ages, because I think the 4 to 11-year-olds that we teach, that kind of the PE and the exercise, I think that's so crucial in those ages. More so definitely. Now with sort of the social media side and the tablets, the phones.
Yeah, not playing Fortnite all day.
Yeah, just getting them to appreciate moving. It doesn't even have to be, like good at football or good at netball or basketball. Yes, children naturally are going to want to be good at it.
Yeah.
But just moving, like just running around, playing a game of dodgeball, throwing a ball at each other.
I miss dodgeball. I used to love dodgeball.
Just silly things like that. Or that child that, when you initially go in, who absolutely hates PE, hates exercise, doesn't want to do anything. Then after the first sort of 6-week half term, you see that little kid running around, interacting. Yeah. You're like, that's what it's about ultimately, is that they just accepting and just running and moving around, because we don't as a society now. We don't do enough of that, especially in sort of schools and early childhood. Now they all, like you say, they all just want to play on Fortnite or Roblox or all these games, or trade in their Pokemon cards. They don't actually just want to run and be kids and dive in mud and run in puddles.
There's nothing more sad than driving past a park and some holidays and it's empty.
Yeah, and that's constant now.
Yeah.
And it is, that is sad. I get it, because I think that parenting now, they're worried about the parks, the streets, the more gangs creeping in and all that. So I kind of see it. I go back to sort of my childhood. You'd get the bus back from Stuartby and went to school in Marston, and it'd be like, get dropped off at the bus stop, 10 lads, you'd run all in different directions to get home. Whoever was last at the park would have to be in goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now you don't get that. You drive past the bus station or whatever, you get off, it's like that, constant. All definitely. The way home, don't even talk to each other.
There's definitely a part of it that's moving your body, but there's also like a social. I remember when I was younger, you'd go to the park and there'd be a game with Wembley going on or whatever, and there'd be kids that were 5 years older than you, 2 or 3 years younger than you, and you'd ask whoever's ball it is if you can play. But you're interacting with kids that are way bigger than you and stronger than you, and you get slide tackled by something, you get up and you have to carry on, and that was just what part of that was the learning of difficulties of life or whatever.
Like role models, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You're a year 5 and you're playing, there's a year 8, year 9, you'll look at them going, I want to be like that, I want to be able to do that with a football. You go over to them, can I join in? Yeah. And at first they might go, no. And then you'd go and play for a bit, and then they look over and
he's all right, actually, yeah.
But that is that social element, isn't it? It's, kids don't have that now. Even that small bit of rejection early on, it's like, it's a good thing, right?
Yeah. You want to go show how good you are so you can play. Or when the ball comes over, it's come your side, you want to shoot or something.
We protect children from that now, and then they get their first bit of rejection when they're 18, or their relationship doesn't work, and it's like the world's ended because they've not had anything from the ages of 4 to 18. They've always been told that they don't get any rejection. It's like at sports days and stuff. It's everyone gets a certificate.
Yeah, I was going to say about that. Like, is that sort of? Do you have any control of that in schools?
No, that'd be down to the head teacher. So certain schools are different. Some will push it more and have kind of They might have like a first, second, third sticker. Everyone might still get one, but they still celebrate who's won.
Yeah. I think that's so important. There's no... There's obviously an element in life and football, like you said, about playing free and being part of it. But it's also like you need to know that it's horrible when you lose.
Yeah, but I talk about it a lot with certainly my close friend who's a head teacher, is that we're very quick to celebrate someone who sort of writes a good poem or is very good at maths, which is great. We'll put it up, we'll do assemblies on it. But that little Tommy who's just won a 100-metre race, he gets his no first sticker, a little sticker, like, go and sit down.
Yeah.
Why is he not celebrated? Because he goes into the academic and he might be rubbish.
Yeah.
Feels
100%.
rejection, he can't write properly, he can't read. He's great at sport, but he's not celebrated either way. Because academically, he's not very bright. And then sport, he's great, but he doesn't know it because he's told, oh, well done, but now you're going to go and sit over there. We don't do an assembly and get him up and go, look at Tommy's work rate to go and run really hard. Look how he takes on the challenges in PE.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
And that's not pushing him to want to do more. He could be a sprinter or a long distance runner or whatever it may be, but he's not going to... Life is about getting a satisfaction from something, right? Yeah. So if he's going to do it and know there's a reward, not necessarily... It could be financially long term, but it's like, right, well done, you celebrated, that's great. Yeah. You're going to want that again. You're going to want that, and you want to do it more, and you want to do it better.
Yeah, but it gives him a drive, doesn't it? Yeah. To keep going, like you say, to keep working hard, to keep listening in PE. And then what I think is that sort of teachers won't realise is that if he is celebrated in that, then is that going to help his academic as well?
Yeah.
Because at the minute, a little child, he's probably thinking in his mind, well, they don't care about celebrating that, so what am I going to be bothered doing that?
Yeah.
Because children aren't silly, right? They'll see it. So
they pick up on way more than you even...
Of course they do.
Yeah, it's nuts what they can pick up on.
It's hard for them, isn't it? They might see their friend being celebrated for their poetry or, like I said, their times table maths. Oh, you're this, you're that, you're like a genius. And then he's not.
Yeah.
But he's unbelievable at football. And it's obviously you don't know these children's outside lives and stuff like that. So I think I certainly make a real conscious effort is you do have to celebrate the sporting side of it. Because also, if you've got someone who's really good at football or any sport, why can you not make that known to the other children? Like, look what he's doing, how hard he's having to work, because then it pushes the ones that sort of might not be to go, oh yeah, I want to be like that. That's how I was as a kid. You know what I mean? If I saw someone who was better than me at that, I'd be like, I want to do that. So it sort of pushes you to work harder, or you go home and you get the tennis ball out and start kicking that around. It's what you look at.
And there's also such a connection between, it's the same with adults, and it must be the same with kids, that if you're moving your body and you're being active and stuff, that's going to support your mental health and your focus for other lessons, right? If they're not being celebrated and all the kids aren't being pushed forward, they're not going to try and work harder. Maybe they're not getting what they need in that aspect.
Yeah, but I'm huge on PE in the morning. I think sort of first thing in the morning when the kids come in, if they're moving their bodies, even, like I said, that you don't know what's going on at home. Have mum and dad had a row? Yeah. Are they nervous? Are they anxious? Yeah. If you get them in, they're running around, playing a tagging game, it can literally just be 20 minutes. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a full PE lesson.
Yeah.
They run around, they're tagging, they're socialising, they're communicating. That whole morning that they've had might just go.
Yeah, totally.
And then they go into the classroom and they're at that state where the nervous energy might have gone, or that kid that sits there usually all fidgety and wants to... Why don't we get them in, let them just run riot, go and play, go and socialise, communicate.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then the academics might be better. But we don't. We go right straight into phonics, sit down, you got to sit on your carpet space. Well, kid's just woke up. Now he's got to be sold, he's got to sit there all morning. It's hard.
The whole school thing I find really bizarre. My schooling was quite difficult because I didn't know that I was dyslexic and things like that until I went to uni. So I was like 20.
Wow.
And then only kind of worked out ADHD stuff in the last couple of years. So when I was at school, I was always bright enough to get by, but it was always we could try harder, could do more, chalk's too much.
So teachers actually said that to you?
Yeah, so it was always if he applied himself, he could do better. If he talked less, he would be able to do more. If he spent less time out of lessons, instead of actually saying, and I'm not necessarily blaming teachers, because I think that it was a case of maybe classes were too big or whatever it may be. But if there was a case of working out why is that,
or understanding you, right?
Yeah, understanding, like going back to understanding me as a person, then maybe like the only lessons that I like were PE. Anything I could do with my hands or PE, because that was where my brain worked better. To come into school and now sit down and listen for an hour, no chance.
No way.
And I don't think there's many kids that can do that and absorb it. And my girlfriend at the time, she was the one where you could give her a book, she'd read it, memorize it, A star.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. No. I could read that 1,000,000 times. Yeah. Not a chance.
Yeah. I think the education system is trying to get better at that. Well, there's certainly schools that I know where they have sort of interventions. So those children that, like you say, might be a bit fidgety or can't go straight in and start their work, they will take them out and have a spell with them, whether it's like they like building bricks or going and running around or whatever. That is becoming sort of more known within schools. But there is so much more to do with it, because I look at it, I think it's the Scandinavian model. I don't think they start school until they're 7 or year 2.
And I think they start later on in the day, don't they?
Yeah, who just let them, for that early stages of life, it's like, go and climb trees, go and be a kid.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because it's a catch-22 with the kids starting later, but then the parents have got to
of course,
be there.
Yeah.
And I think it's difficult, and I always think that schooling is difficult for different people, because some people learn differently, and I think you might learn by doing, learn by reading, learn by watching, and everything isn't. There's only a certain amount of teachers, certain amount of time, and a lot of kids, right? Yeah. So you can't teach every kid individually, and I fully appreciate that. Yeah. But I also think that there's more than one way of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I also think that it's an impossibility, but you kind of only know what you want to do, kind of, when you finish school. By then, you kind of didn't know what you should have focused on. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
So it's really difficult.
Yeah, it is, and it's hard. It is hard, like you just said there, for teachers. It's like you can't go and blame them. Do you know what I mean? They do an unbelievable job.
Yeah, totally.
Like you say, they've got 30 children. Every child is different.
Yeah.
They're understaffed. There's less and less people that even want to teach now. Yeah. So there's a shortage of that. There's supply teachers that might be in for a week, gone for a week.
Why would you want to teach when you've got kids that have got little respect and
certainly secondary. So
she's sort of teaching to secondary where attitude and chairs being thrown and all that sort of stuff.
I'd struggle with that.
The patience is immense.
Yeah. Primary, I think, is a little bit different, because if that child has got sort of those emotional sort of issues, and there's a reason behind it, right? No child wants to be like that.
No.
I think as you start getting into primary ages, it's more of a choice, isn't it? So I think when in primary, it's you have to be sort of patient and actually try and learn. If a child is sort of showing those emotions, then there's a reason, right? Yeah. But certainly with teachers, they do an unbelievable job with the amount of paperwork they have to do, and then learn about 30 children and their different ways.
I would just struggle to remember their names, let alone how they know.
It's difficult.
I also used to think when I was younger that it's a good gig, because you start at 9, you finish at 3:30, you have a long summer, and then reality of it is nothing like that.
No, I think teachers get a lot of flack for that, don't they? So where you get all this time off.
Yeah, you don't.
They don't really. No, because for them having to switch off from just stuff like that is hard and draining for them mentally. We're in quite a good position, obviously. I get to go in and just deliver the PE. That's the fun part, and usually where sort of 9 times out of 10 the children love doing it anyway. So you kind of get that sort of respect from early. They want to do it.
Everyone likes the PE teacher, don't they?
So we're fortunate in that sense. But also, I think that is a big part, isn't it? The PE. I think it helps the children academically as well. So I think if we can get more and more schools having the understanding of the exercise and that part, then I think it will only help the teachers.
And it's also really good habits to start young, isn't it? Moving and why you move, the benefits of moving. It's only a good habit to get into from, and also not doing the boring things. Like I remember when I was in middle school, it felt like it was just cross country all the time.
Yeah.
And you get in, it's like, what are we doing? Oh, we run around the field. Okay.
Yeah.
It's cold, it's wet. There's no one's excited about doing it.
Yeah.
And I think doing it in a way that makes it fun.
Yeah.
And otherwise, I haven't wanted to run around a field since. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's true, yeah.
Because it just gives me these horrible feelings of being wet and cold, and then the teacher wrapped up warm shouting at me from the other side.
I think that's why primary is so, like you say there, is so important, because if you can make it fun early, and then hopefully when it goes into sort of the secondary or middle schools or upper schools, whatever the format is where you live, if you can keep that fun going through, more and more will sort of do it and carry it on into adulthood. But yeah, for us certainly in primary, it's getting that balance of, you want them to learn, obviously, but ultimately you just want them to enjoy moving and
totally.
socialise with each other and communicate. And then you can sort of challenge the ones that might be higher end, and you can see, you can just go up to them if it was like a football lesson and go, right, well now you can only use your left foot, to just challenge them a little bit more. Because obviously the lessons are quite sort of generic in what you're doing. So someone who is sort of high
don't want to get bored
level, it's trying to gauge all of that. And then there might be ones that are even struggling with what they're expected to get to. And you can just help them for a period of time, because it's frightening now how little children can just basic or throw and catch, because they're not really taught it. Through parenting usually. I think my parents taught me how to throw and catch a ball or roll it. It was within our household. But now it's more the PE teacher will teach that now. And
I'm not going to pretend to be the perfect parent here, because I definitely do it, but there's a lot of just screen time now, and it's easier to do that as opposed to the interaction side of things. And I think that, again, I'm not, my little boy watches TV, whether he's obsessed with Paddington at the moment, so he's watching that all the time. But there's a lot more of that. It's more of screen time, games, as opposed to that, like I say, we're younger, throwing, catching, kicking.
But I think all of that, a lot of that comes down to it's hard for parents, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
most now is two working parents.
Yeah.
So don't have time. Do you
No,
know what I mean?
exactly. You get home and you're
home or
tired, and you and it's again. I was talking to someone the other day and saying that the difference with and before I say this, I'm not talking about like genders here, but just when he was saying, when I was younger, my dad would go to work, my mum would be at home. And she would have everything sorted, and when you get home, you go and the kids would go out and play. I'm not talking about a gender thing. I'm just saying life was a lot more just simpler in terms of there was two working parents. You have to be because financially it's tough. You have to the expectations in work seem to be a lot higher. So sometimes you want to just say, right, just sit and watch TV.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I think,
no. It's I do it, definitely. I think most parents do it.
If you need to get things done, or you need to work, then that is the easiest way, isn't it? I think for me, as long as it's not constant, I mean, then your child's going to be fine. But we are seeing more of, especially in PE, children that like you would class as the fundamentals. You know what I mean, in terms of just being able to hold a ball properly in the hand and roll it. But it's fine. That's our job. As PE teachers,
you don't have a job otherwise.
we can help create that. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And make them better in those sort of those little skills that I believe are important going forward for them.
Definitely. So circling back to the Real Bedford and what so your long term plan is to sort of progress through management. Real Bedford have got big plans as well. The plans from Pete, the owner, are incredible, to be fair, and how he's backed me as a young manager coming into the game early, obviously, in terms of age as a manager. Obviously, we started off at step 6 and obviously now at step 3, and we've sort of had the 3
championship winning seasons in a row. That doesn't happen if you're not back from the owner in the hierarchy. So yeah, his plans and where he wants to take the football club in terms of the training facility he wants, the stadium he wants to build, what he wants to do in the town, the community is incredible, really. So yeah, without what he's done on that side, you can't get the on-field bit right. So yeah, I'm thankful for that. And look, hopefully, if we can keep doing what we're doing, then my transition into full-time management can be with the football club. Yeah. Because for me, in terms of working in Bedford, from Bedford, it is perfect. And usually in football, that doesn't happen. You've got to travel miles away and move your family. But if I can do that sort of here in home, then that would be great.
What's the kind of... So my granddad used to play for Bedford Town. So Bedford Town's been the football team that I can remember. But Real Bedford seems to be cropping up more and more and more, and it's definitely growing and gaining momentum. Have you seen that in terms of crowds and what's your side of it from being in it, managing it, and seeing it?
Yeah, but obviously Bedford Town historically have been the bigger club, and obviously still are the bigger club in terms of the level that they're at and their attendances. But we certainly are catching up. I think back to when I first took over, we're getting 30, 40, 50 fans max, and probably 20 of them are parents watching their children play. And now I think biggest crowd this season was over 1,000 against Kettering, obviously heavily backed with Kettering fans. But on a normal sort of game where the away following wouldn't be so big, we'd be getting to the 400-500s now. So yeah, we're doing well with that.
What's that a time frame? Over about 3 or 4 years, it's gone.
So that's what am I now into my 4th season? Yes, that'd be over the.
That's pretty impressive. In 4 years.
It's a big percentage, isn't it? Really, in terms of the jump of attendances, and obviously the youth sector that Pete's grown. That helps. You walk around now, or you go into the local parks like Jubilee Park on a Saturday or Sunday. You're seeing the girls' teams. You're seeing the colours, the flags. It's forever growing, and that is because of the hard work that the people above, sort of in terms of the management side of it, are doing in the community. If we can keep growing that, and obviously then that generates sort of income into the football club, and the youth sector's growing, you're going to get more attendances. They start coming to watch. Parents start coming. They have a beer. It's a ripple effect, isn't it? So we're doing well with that. And look, ultimately, we want to be going up the levels to where, like you say, Bedford Town obviously are. But yeah, it's a unique situation as well with where the stadiums are right next to each other.
Yeah. If you haven't been, they're right next to each other. You can hear each other cheer.
Yeah, literally, you can. And look, I think long term that can't happen. You can't have 2 football clubs that are at these levels.
Especially
right
if you're in the same,
other.
It's going to start becoming rivalries.
Even just like the logistics of
it's
parking.
When they're both games are on, it's tough, isn't it?
Especially now with obviously Bedford doing well in the National North, and us doing well in the Southern Central League. It's the crowds are getting bigger. So like you say, usually the leagues try and obviously have you at separate times, but in terms of their home, we're away, but they can't do that every week. So I think there's 3 or 4 a year where you're both at home, and it's just a nightmare.
The carnage all down the road and everything.
So hopefully, in terms of the plans where we're trying to go, that we can get something sorted that would be closer to the town centre. It's just having that. You look at the Blues, they have a massive following, and it's obviously well supported in terms of rugby, but there will be easily 1,000 to 1,500 that are there for the social, because it's so close to town.
Walk,
it's easy to get there. It's like, I've been there a few times. I haven't ever seen a rugby ball. You know what I mean? I'm there for the socials.
Whenever I've been, I have no idea what the score is, what's going on. Just there because there's beer and people.
And I think that's what, if we can, as a football club, get closer to the town centre, which is the aim and the plan, then that's going to help us grow.
It's an interesting one because it feels like it's really great gaining momentum. and it's just there's no rivalry, and whether it is a rivalry or it can't be a bad thing, can it?
No, I think that kind of healthy football rivalry is great. Obviously, the Bedford Town fans are very vocal in not liking us and not liking Pete, especially obviously with what happened with the potential merge. But yeah, it's great, isn't it? And look, Pete enjoys it. He gets involved in it. It's a good thing to have. And ultimately, if you're from Bedford, you're going to want two good Bedford teams doing well. So yeah, long may that continue.
Yeah, you can't. I think it's very naive to think, or sort of to think that it's not a bad thing. The more it grows, the more money brings into Bedford, and more a good rivalry, and it pushes each other as well. If you're going to get close to the same leagues and you're going to want to build up together, no one's going to want to be left behind.
No, of course. I don't care what anyone says. The fact that both clubs have been doing well on the pitch and winning leagues is purely down because we want to catch and go up,
and they want to stay ahead.
Yeah, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
If Real Bedford weren't coming up through, I guarantee Bedford Town wouldn't be where they are now.
And they're investing money into their pitch and stuff like that. That's only good for Bedford.
Of course it is. Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it's all good things.
When you look at them turning their pitch to the 4G, the amount of kids now that can use that, girls, boys, the disability teams, like you say, it can only be good for Bedford, right? And I don't think that if there wasn't us sort of coming behind them, I don't think they would have been doing that. You know what I mean? It's all an ego thing, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
They want to stay ahead. Pete wants to catch them up, wants to overtake them, wants to go up the levels.
Yeah, it's like a mini Wrexham going on at
Bedford. But it's brilliant, isn't it? You think obviously Pete being quite well known and powerful anyway, he's put in sort of Bedford as a whole more on the map. He's talking about it a lot with influential people. Yeah. He's obviously well connected in America. You had Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss at a game, staying in Bedford, speaking at his event.
When I read that blew my mind because they're like the guys that were part of Facebook. They're not small names, are they?
I remember we was at the Corn Exchange and I was in there with Pete, and those two kind of walked in, and you're like, these are actually billionaire people. But then you actually start talking to them, it's like they're just normal. Yeah, got an interest in sort of footballing and investing in what Pete's doing, and you're like, these are highly influential people. They're like friends with Elon Musk, Donald Trump. And it's like they're coming to Bedford. That would never happen, right? So just things like that, whether you agree with them politically or anything like that, if you can see past that, just what it can create in Bedford, if they're going to invest in Pete, and we get a new community hub, stadiums, and that's only going to be good for the young and old, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that
totally.
Use facilities.
And I think there's the whole universal thing that's coming into Bedford as well that's going to raise some uncertainty. So if there's are there more positive Bedford stuff? I'm not saying uncertainty in it happening, just what does that mean for Bedford in terms of with a lot of changes going on and stuff. So if we can get more Bedford stuff happening that's sort of more organic in terms of how that grows, it can only be a good thing as well.
Yeah, of course. And like I just said there, if you've got a big sporting hub with sort of restaurants or hotel that is for Bedford, like you say, Universal's on a different level, isn't it? Like you say, who knows what that's going to do in terms of traffic, everything.
Who knows when that's even going to start being built, to be honest.
Exactly. It's just the talk and stuff is crazy. So... But yeah, obviously, all of this is putting Bedford on the map as such. Yeah. If we get investment into the town and schooling, everything, it can only be a good thing. That's what I believe anyway.
Do you think the part of Pete and his ownership? Do you think that's there's a lot talking around in Bedford, isn't there? Do you think that is helping build the momentum?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, him being influential and the stuff he does within the community is a good thing. I remember meeting him initially when we spoke about the job, and being in football, I wasn't sure. I mean, if this could work, you see it all the time, don't you? Owners come in, and especially with it like Bitcoin and the sort of the negative press that was around him at the time when someone's coming in to a football club and wants to go to the Premier League and wants to do all this. I was a bit like, oh, I've seen this before, and it ends in one way, disaster. But yeah, after speaking to him and engaging with him in conversations, he's, in terms of the inspiration he gave me, like his work ethic, the plans he's got in place and how he's actually doing them. He's not just talking about it. He's pretty special, and I don't think people actually see it because he doesn't talk about what he's actually doing. Yeah, even it's not a small thing, but helping sort of I think there's someone in Bedford that's doing like the might be F3 or one of the formula things, and Pete like sponsors that. No one knows that. I mean, the netball, he's taking over that, helping that, the girls' netball. People think, right, just football or his podcast. It's not what he's actually doing for the community. And I don't know how many schools it was. Was it 75 schools? He gave them all £500 to put into their sporting department to buy equipment. It's like that's not normal, right?
No.
It doesn't happen in other towns. And yes, the people that don't like him will go, oh, he's got the money, he can do that, but he doesn't have to.
Doesn't have to, yeah.
He doesn't have to help people. Do you know what I mean?
It's an interesting one because I only asked the question because he's definitely a character that everyone's speaking about. So it's always interesting to see kind of whether that's help like supporting the momentum or people kind of more standoffish because people there's a lot about him, but I guess not a lot of people know him personally.
But there's both, isn't there? Obviously, people will see the stuff on Twitter or X, sorry. Yeah, obviously politically and that side of it. Obviously, I see him more on a human level and see him in that sense. And yeah, what he's trying to do, I think, is incredible. And also, you've got to look into it in a business side. He has a podcast, so it's going to be controversial. He's going to have controversial characters on it. It's not giving people a platform. It's like ultimately that is also feeding his family and helping him do these things. So he's got to speak about uncomfortable things with people that other people might not like. That's part of business, and obviously you doing a podcast yourself, you'll understand that you might have people sat here that you don't agree with. Yeah, but it's making you money. That's how business works.
You can't just invite your friends on the whole time.
No, it doesn't work like that. So I think, yes, there will be people in Bedford, and there is people in Bedford that don't like him, but they're just seeing it I believe, on a political thing, and not actually on who he is and what he's trying to do and help. But obviously, I'm going to say that because I get on with him. I like him. And he's obviously given me an opportunity in football. But no, I can't speak highly enough of the support he's given me and my family. So I think it's only a good thing for Bedford.
Yeah, totally. It's exciting to see. It's exciting to see what Real Bedford's doing. It's interesting to see what other momentum can come from that sort of movement. And I just think the more Bedford is getting so much negative press at the moment, and I think anything positive that can come, any positive momentum or positive conversations can only be a positive thing.
Yeah, and that's obviously even with you look at the town centre, isn't it? He's got the coffee shop, obviously auction rooms. He's trying to sort of do good things. Like you say, there is a lot of negativity around sort of Bedford and just in general, I think, with totally. the cost of living and everything that's trying to happen, or that is happening. So yeah, if he can create that kind of sort of positive sort of vibe with trying to help the town and the community, then for me it's a good thing. And certainly if it's going to help sort of the younger generation, which he's starting to have a sort of big push on in terms of sort of schooling and helping on that side, because for the younger generation now it's a hard, sort of tough world to be in. And if he can help with that, then that would be great.
Yeah. I think the other side of it is that there's someone clearly trying to do positive things. Whether everyone agrees with it or not is you're never going to be able to get everyone to agree with you. But also there's other people like the councils and things like that need to be stepping up and doing their side of things, because it seems to me, and I'd like to have a conversation about this, it seems to be that everything whether it be rates, whether it be trying to open businesses or maintain business in the town centre and surrounding it, is just tough.
Yeah, I think the rates, like you said, I think Pete was going to start a sort of pizza place in town. Well, not speaking for him, I think it is common knowledge. He's now not doing that. And that's a wealthy guy.
Yeah.
That is pulling out of something because it just costs so much. Like you say, for start-up businesses to pay those rates and to build something.
And maintain that. You might be able to do that for a couple of months, but maintain that long term.
Well, how many shops do you see now go up in Bedford? They go up for... Some can go up for a month, and then they're done. And then you get another one that might last 3 or 4 months, gone.
I just don't get it. And again, I say this before, and I just don't understand. Surely you'd rather 50% of something for a long time than 100% of nothing for a short... 100% of something... You get the logic I'm going. Yeah. I'm confusing myself here. But like, you'd rather 50% of your rates for a year, whilst a business gets going and gets momentum, than taking 100% for 2 months and gone.
You'd think so, right? I'm not... Well, I don't understand the background of that.
There must be something that I'm missing and how it works, because
there's got to be something.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Because you'd rather, like you say, your shop's full, than empty.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Do they make money if they're empty? I have no idea.
I don't know either, and I'd like to ask that question.
But I know Pete has got a good relationship with the council at the minute, and they're working very hard to try and sort of help him with his plans in terms of the community and the football club. So, hopefully something comes of what he's trying to build and do within the town. Yeah.
So Real Bedford, how's the season going so far?
Yeah, we're doing well. I think we sit in 5th place at the minute. Obviously going up a level as well from last year, winning the league. It's nice to be sort of in a nice position at the minute, because it's the top team go up automatic, and then 2 to 5 like fight it out in the playoffs. But we're still really early days in that. But we had a difficult start. I think we went 8 without a win, and then I think it was 11. We've just gone 11 in the league unbeaten, and we lost on Saturday, which was the first time in a while. But on the whole, we've had a really good start. We've got quite a young group in terms of the players. So I think early on it was kind of sort of like a bedding in for them. I didn't think they really realised how good they could be.
Right.
And then it's kind of clicked, and they've sort of now showing that real courage to play how we play, because we sort of play in a style that is a little bit different probably from the norm in non-league football. I think once that's clicked with them, and like actually, we can do this, we can play this way. I think now the courage they're showing to actually go and do it has been brilliant for me to see. And it's just sort of a big word that sort of I use with them, is the courage to sort of play free. They will have those fears, but then have that sort of courage to just go and be you on the football pitch.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially as a young player, that's how I wanted to be when I was playing, but I didn't. Do you know what I mean? I didn't have that courage. I was literally scared going onto a football pitch. So if I can try and take that edge away from them, yes, they will have that, but that's fine. You can feel like that, and now let's just go and play football.
Yeah, definitely.
When you play in a park, when you're a kid, you're just playing. Yeah. Right? It's now you're an adult. Why does it have to go so serious? Yeah. And if you make a mistake, it's like someone barking at you. It's like, you're going to make mistakes. Yeah. Who cares? Move on.
That's life, yeah.
Yeah. So, no, on a whole, season's gone well, and now it's obviously maintaining that. And hopefully come sort of April, the end of the season, we can be in and around the shot of having another bit of success.
It must be difficult as well, because from my understanding, at that level, you can sort of play for 2 teams, right?
What do you mean?
So you can have like dual...
Oh, yeah, yes. You can have dual reg. So there'll be players that are like registered with us, but if they're not playing and they need more game time,
and you can move sort of mid-season. So it's difficult. Is it difficult to keep a consistent team, or have you kind of found a good?
No, I have a real conscious sort of mind on that. I think I've signed. I might have signed a couple during like the season, and some that aren't playing will move because they want to play. But I make a conscious effort of keeping the nucleus of the squads and not make wholesale sort of changes during season. I think partly because where I want to go, you can't do that. So if I go into full-time football within sort of like the EFL, the Football League as such, you can't do that. You get a window in the summer and then a short window in January where that's where you can do your business as such. So it's kind of like testing yourself and preparing. Yes, there will be times injuries or you have to go and sign. But yeah, I'm never a big fan of how it is in non-league where you can have 60, 70, 80 players. It's kind of like if someone's
not real world, really.
Yeah, not really. And if someone's like lost their form a bit, right, what are you going to do? Oh, off you go. I'll get the next one in. It's a bit like I don't really like that. Yes, there is loss of form, and you try and help them for a period. If it's constant, yes, you've got to make a decision. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of how that sort of works in non-league, where you can literally just sign who you want, when you want, do what you want.
Chop and change as and when you see fit.
You can do what you want. You can, even as a manager, you prepare for a side. You see them play the week before. You do all your prep, and then you look at Saturday. You're like, well, we've got 6 new players. It's like it shouldn't really be allowed. You know what I mean?
No.
Obviously, on emergencies, that's why I think there should be some kind of ruling with emergency dual reg, but there should be more of a cut off and a point in the season. I don't think it's like, I think the cut off is about 3 weeks before the end of the season. You can't sign anyone. What's the point? It's pointless.
Because you can often see a team play, and then that person's playing for your team, and like 2 weeks later, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, a lot will happen if a player plays well against you. You're going to go and sign them. That happens a lot. More so now from this level that we're at and above, you've got more players that are on contract that can't do that.
Because I guess the difficulty as well is if you don't have those players to sort of pin down, because as you go up the levels, the leagues get and the travel gets bigger, doesn't it? So it might be some people that kind of want to stay at this level, even if they could go up, because that means they're more local, they can stay home, they've got work commitments. But I guess as you get further up, you want to have that consistent team that want to keep going. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, you see it a lot, don't you? Obviously, like you just said there, players that have got good jobs, might have young families, they don't want to go up the levels to then, like you look at Bedford Town now, you're going to Fylde and South Shields. It's like, say, 5-6 hours on a coach. Like, there's just players that aren't in that situation in their life that can do that. So I think Pete, we've been very conscious of that in terms of our recruitment. I think that's why we've gone younger at players that do want to, that might not have the young families, they're young themselves still. So
that work commitment.
We can take
like
that continuity
makes sense.
with us. And sometimes that's harder because it sort of narrows your recruitment down. But I look a lot myself in, like, go and watch academy football and sort of the youth sections with players that might get released from Luton or MK Dons, Cambridge, but they still want to be a footballer. So then they might be part-time, as in like in terms of the football with us Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, but it's enough money, they're living at home, and then obviously they're still on that pathway to going and being a footballer. Whereas if you've got a lad on a 60, 70, 80 grand a year job as well as football, they're not going to get to, say, National League level, give up their job and go full-time. One, the football club's not going to be able to cover a football wage and sort of that wage they might be earning with their job. So we're obviously very conscious. Obviously, the fact we want to go into sort of full-time model at some point, you're kind of recruiting like that now in a way.
There's so many more complexities at this level than just what the performance is on the pitch. And at every level there is, but you'd kind of think that as you kind of delve into it a little bit more, you've got to think lot more long. It's not just what does this season look like, what does next season look like, because there's so many more complexities to it.
I think you can look like that as a manager. They're selfishly, I could go, right, well, because we're obviously a competitive side, get that player, this player, and yet probably give us much more of a chance to get to go and win the league. But the fact that Pete backs me to do it a little bit of a different way and will give me time in terms of sort of trying to develop the younger players, hopefully, long term, that will serve us in a good way. But I can see how, as a manager, you can get caught up in going, well, he's the best striker there, he's the best. But again, that doesn't always work, does it? You can look at Liverpool right now, you don't get too many of those players, it can backfire. But yeah, there is so many different things to football, and then even to small things like coach travel, the timings of that, players coming on the coach, is how you're going to feed them, what they're going to eat. There's so much more to it now. You're getting into those levels where there's more travel. Obviously, wages get higher. Players want more money. Agents start getting involved.
Right.
Start having to have meetings with their agent, not the player. There's
a lot of things out of your control as well, right? You can't at a high level. Probably when you played, there was more of control of what you ate, when you ate, but you can't control most of that.
No, you're trusting the players, aren't you? It's obviously when you're full time, you go in, you're fed breakfast, you get your lunch. If there's enough, they send you home with your dinner. So you're getting everything done for you. Whereas, part time level, it is literally a trust thing. They're doing the right things. Friday nights, they're not going out. And like you say, eating the right things. Even on a Saturday morning, some lads will be going and working. Are they then okay to go and play? Those that have obviously, again, got young families, have been up all night. There's so much. Usually at that elite level, they've got nannies and they're not having to deal with that as much. Part-time is a lot of trust in your players that they're doing the right things away. And again, that's why our recruitment's younger, because hopefully they've got the sort of drive to want to go and be a professional footballer. So they'll sort of tend to live their lives probably in a better way.
It's a serious commitment now and going forward. I mean, you look at, I know it's a crazy example, someone like Ronaldo, that he's dedicated every minute of his life to being an elite sports person.
Yeah, they're those types. You go Ronaldos, your Federers, Djokovic, they
different.
are elite. They're like animals. They are just built in a different ways. The sacrifices and to probably the hours they're away from their families. But it's like they have such it's like selfish. Do you know what I mean? They have such a huge. It's like that's what they want to do. So they will do it. You know what I mean? And that's where their partners are so supportive. Do you know what I mean? Because if you haven't got a supportive partner, you can't live your life like that. But they're just, because everyone naturally just goes, it's their talent, isn't it? It's not. Look at Ronaldo. At one point, he was just like this skinny little twig.
when he got to Manchester United, he was
they're on a they're different.
Even from day one, I saw an interview. Even from day one, there he said, "I want to be the best player in the world." So he was at the gym all the time, eating everything. And look at him now; he's just
And to have the courage to come out and actually say that is mental.
It is.
I'm going to be the best player in the world.
Yeah.
Like, that takes huge sort of courage to go and do that. Because in
whatever,
the back of his mind,
he was, 17 or whatever.
Yeah, he would have still had all those doubts.
Yeah.
But the fact that he could just accept that and just drive himself into work.
I think it's how much. So say for example, Ronaldo's, and this is going to be another crazy example, but like someone like Declan Rice, right? He's not the best player in the world. He's not a different player completely, but to turn up every day, consistently put 8 out of 10 performance in.
Yeah,
that is, I think, even I'm a West Ham fan, right? For someone like Mark Noble, right? He was at West Ham for however many years, 16, 17 years. He was always in and around the club. To do that at Premier League standard is unbelievable.
Yeah, and I think the difference is because there's players that I've played with that talent-wise could have gone there to those kind of levels. But I think it's their mindsets. I think they can and they do all those inner doubts, the fears. Can I do it? Am I this? Am I like? I think they can see past that and accept it.
Right.
So and it drives them in a good way. Whereas if you don't, I don't think you can consistently perform like that.
Yeah.
So you'll get an 8 out of 10, then you go to 3, and a 6, and that's why you played League One, League Two-ish level.
Yeah.
But they are like Declan Rice, our West Ham fans hate me now. Who cares? I mean, I'll just go and play football. They can see, they can accept it.
Yeah.
It's like an acceptance of that.
Yeah. And everything that goes into it. So there's the mentality, but there's the everyday getting up and eating right and training right and the focus and that's just at being a centre mid. Do you know what I mean? That just does the unglamorous jobs.
And that's the courage to do that, right?
Yeah.
Because they still have outside, come on, mate, let's go for a beer, come on. And they're like, they've got the courage to go to their mate and go, nah, I don't want to do that with you. And lose friendships.
Yeah, totally.
They have that kind of, and that takes courage, right? To go to your mates, no, I don't want to do that. And then just go, you're out of my life.
Yeah.
I want to do these things. I want to get
and
up,
there's
go
that
to
selfish
the gym.
part of your brain as well. There must be.
Yeah. And that's why they get there, and it's also why they're paid
Also,
obscene amounts of money because they're entertaining a lot of people.
The money side of it, right? So again, Declan Rice is an example. I think he's on like 350 grand a week. You've got to be a special type of person to earn 350 grand a week and not go a little bit crazy with it.
Yeah, of course you are. And again, there's players that get that and go that sort of crazy.
Yeah.
But that also makes them, if you see what I mean. So it's kind of contradictory what we're saying, where you have to have that courage to say no.
Yeah.
But then also there's those, like Rashford flies out to America, goes like, people are like, oh, you shouldn't do that. You can't. He's like, well, I don't care.
Yeah, like Grealish.
I'll still go
absolutely battered.
I'll still go and perform.
Yeah.
And they do. It's about like backing you, isn't
yourself.
it? Just being you. Like Grealish, if he wants to go Ibiza and go and smoke, he'll do it.
Yeah.
But then he'll go and perform.
Yeah.
Because he has when he's getting hounded in the press or whatever, internally, he might have those moments where it's affecting him. But ultimately, he's just going, I don't care, I'll go and perform.
Yeah.
And I think others, like if I had that at that age, I'd have absolutely crumbled. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it happens. I mean, not that he's doing this, but I think someone like Sanchez, what's his name? Well, it's gone right out of my head.
Sancho.
Yeah. Run out of my head then. He was flying at Dortmund. Yeah. Came to United. Probably the pressure of money, expectation of what needs to be done, people in his ear.
Yeah. Like, you can't talk for him on that, but yeah.
You can see naturally why that, like, he was only so young, so much money, so much expectation on him to be the next number 7. Then you're sitting in your Ronaldo's shadow, and then England player, and then England are so good at just battering talent down.
Yeah, it's just what the press kind of do here, isn't it? So you'll see it next year. We'll all positive at the minute in terms of qualifying, and then there'll be the lead up to the World Cup.
We'll have
someone would do something wrong. They'll be seen in a swimming pool with a woman. And they'll be hounded.
Be 0-0 the first game. Oh, it's all we haven't got a chance. We're awful with this.
Yeah, we always find a way to try and destroy it as an English press. But I think the culture now for them in terms of what England do, especially like with obviously Southgate started it.
Yeah.
And now hopefully we can, with Tuchel obviously in his ways, that we can kind of have that environment where the players actually just focus on what they're doing, and that outside noise is just kind
job,
of like sort of blocked out, as hard as that is, because naturally they all read it, they all see it. They've all got families who will read it. It's probably the families that actually get affected more than the players now.
Probably.
But yeah, it takes a special kind of courage to get to that level and stay there.
Yeah.
It's crazy, really, when you actually think about it. I just think of the level I got to, and you'd pick up a newspaper and someone might have rated you down, and you think, oh God, do you know what I mean? It's like they're getting this 24/7 just bombardment of.
Yeah.
You could probably go to the house. There's press everywhere, and walking the dog, they can't. They've got to walk it around their own garden.
Yeah,
I mean, they can't do normal.
You can't
things.
you can't live a normal life. So just going back to the management like Southgate and things like that, do you, as a manager now, is there anything? I know you sort of try to. You said before that you try and stay in your own lane a little bit. Do you take anything from interviews they've had, or how they approach things, or
you're always listening and watching. Obviously now with the good side of social media, you can literally look at everything. You get insight into the changing rooms, what they're saying, what
and
their
especially the
training
stuff
is.
What's it called? The ones on Amazon.
I
can't remember what they're called. All or Nothing or something. Is it?
That's it.
They're incredible insights to what the day looks like.
It's like for me, I look at like Guardiola is for me the elite sort of manager that you would look at, and how, like I was saying earlier, that kind of sensitive part you can see in him with the ways of his players. When he wins, he's crying. He's true to who he is. And then last year, the darkness side where he's scratching his head.
That was nuts.
He's just right on them verges all the time of sensitive. But then you can just imagine how dark he is at times.
And you can see him like recently shouting at the cameraman and all this sort of stuff. You can see he's definitely on that.
Like, for you to stand there and scratch your head like that, there is darkness there. You know what I mean? You're getting dark thoughts to be able to do that. And I think he's the master of, like I say, staying on that sort of line really in between the sensitive and that dark part. Because he's clearly got that empathy, because you can see the way his players are with him. When he obviously won those 4 titles and he's just streaming with tears, that's all that sensitive part coming out of him. But then you can see his intensity in the way
you can see
speaks.
He's a relentless winner.
Yeah.
And you've got to have that
and that's what I always say. The winner part is the darkness.
Yeah.
And then you've got the sensitive, where's the empathy. And if you tip, for me, either side, it's just it's disastrous. I mean, if you go too much of that winner, you're just horrible. Like, you're not doing it, gone. You're not doing it, gone.
Yeah, I think Southgate was more of he wasn't a relentless winner, and that's what's been our.
I think he probably, look, and he's at the elite level, but he probably tipped too much into the sensitive part, right? He wanted to keep everyone happy, everyone.
The harmony needed to be there, and there was. Obviously, we don't see the insides, and we don't know. But my gauge has always been that there hasn't been that relentlessness to just see it through, because it's always been so close.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is and he did an incredible job.
He did,
Make no bones about that. He went into an environment that was just
toxic and horrible, and by the sounds of it, it was just in their little clubs, and it was brutal. And he definitely made a huge impact. It made a big difference, and we wouldn't have got to the levels that we got to without.
I think that's where the FA have probably taken a little risk. Tuchel is that kind of little dark, like the way he is. So it's kind of, they've probably trying to see both of it now. Gareth's created that incredible sort of where you can see everyone's free. Probably the meetings, they're all open, they're all talking. But he's got that little edge where that intensity, you can, in training, you've seen clips of the way he is. And he'll get in your face if you're not doing well, kind of thing. And hopefully with sort of him having both sides, can we sort of go on and win the World Cup?
Let's not get into that conversation.
No, because we'd all be sad come the end of it.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Because you kind of, in a football management or in a football space, you've kind of got so much exposure. Like, you've got more exposure being a football manager than you have in any other job role, really. Like, I can't sit there and look at, on TV tonight, and look at 5 different, I don't know, podcast management. Do you know what I mean? The way that you've got so much there, then that could be, I guess, overwhelming as well, because there's so many styles of play, or way of approaching things, or it must get difficult to dissect. Well, where do I fit in that? Where's my way? Yeah,
because like you say, early on when I was new to it, you're looking at all the different training sessions that are available. You're going on YouTube, you're looking at the way they talk, the way they do this, and it's like overwhelming. There's just all this stuff off YouTube you can find and look at, and different sort of even companies that sell training sessions, and you can soak up way too much, but then you actually, like you said, lose who you are.
Yeah.
So it's great to go and learn off these people, and you go and do training ground visits, and you go and see how other managers work and ask them questions and pick up the phone and speak to managers. Those bits are all good, but ultimately it still comes down to, how do I want to see my team play?
Yeah.
How do I want them to conduct themselves? Because it falls on my head. If you go, oh, right, I want to be like him. One, you can't be because you're not him.
Yeah.
Two, he's coaching it, not you. So you can't just copy what he's saying, what he's doing, because it's not going to work. Again, it comes back to, you're not connecting with anyone, are you?
Yeah.
So I think there's elements you can sort of learn from in terms of like sort of the analysis side of it.
Yeah.
How do they break down the game, and what do they see? Because they've obviously been doing it. Some of managers have been doing it for like 20 years. So.
I bet you're still learning. It's fascinating when you watch analysis of games and stuff, and they just see things that I never would have seen that.
Yeah, no, it's the way the game now is broken down, even in terms of all the data they can get. Yeah. It's probably why Premier League football at times now you watch it can get a little bit boring.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
it's so data driven. There's so much information you can get on each other as oppositions. It's kind of
cancel each other out a little bit.
Yeah, it's
Even
a bit like NFL, isn't it? We're creeping towards the American sort of models with the data and the analysis you can get, and obviously now with AI that's creeping into even to football.
Even sort of the last few seasons, watching City as an example, it wasn't fun a lot of the time. It's just possession, wait, goal, okay, possession, and it just you kind of miss it being a little bit more. You don't see any big tackles or.
No. Or like a basketball game, wouldn't it? It's like bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. You don't see any of that kind of, which is what I also think. What lower level football sometimes is a lot more fun because it's kind of a lot more there.
You can't get as much information or data, or like you say there with the dual edges, the team's changing all the time. So you might prepare one way, they just completely change.
Yeah.
Usually now at sort of elite level, you can tell how a team's going to play. They might make changes or tiny little tweaks where they catch you out. It's why set pieces have become such a big thing, because you work on different things that obviously teams don't know. But it's non-league is more, like you say, the physical battles.
Yeah. Tackles are a bit harder.
Yeah.
It feels like there's a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, there's passion in the Premier League but you're playing there because you want to be there. Yeah. You've made the effort, like you've got a job, you've worked all week. Yeah. The passion to win is strong.
Obviously in non-league as well, there's more interaction, right? So fans can see the players in the bar after and they get to know them as a character.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously now in the Premier League, you can't get near any of them. You don't know them, do you? You don't know any player's character at that kind of level. No. Apart from like a Grealish, who we said he just doesn't care, so he'll just be him. Yeah. Most of these players everything's run by their management team. It's not actually you're not knowing who they are. No. Whereas non-league, go in a bar, speak to a lad, have a laugh and a chat. Oh yeah, I quite like him. I'll come again next week, support them, the team.
Yeah. I love that about that level. Like I say, my granddad played for Bedford Town, and he played there for. I think he's got the most appearances out of anyone at Bedford Town. He played there for a long time, and he played in years where they in the FA Cup, and he played against like really, really good teams. Yeah. But even so, it was my nan's birthday at the weekend, and it was her 80th, and a bloke delivered the flowers, and he said, "I recognise your surname. Do you know David Skin?" He was like, yeah, that was my husband. He was like, I used to love watching him. And he probably stopped playing 50, 60 years ago, something stupid.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's just crazy that like often I'll Bedford Town, I'll meet people or whatever and talk about Bedford Town. I'm going, oh yeah, I used to watch him. Yeah. And I used to know him. I used to go to the pub with him and this, that and the other. Like I say, you wouldn't get that at any other level.
That's the human
great.
level, isn't it? Yeah. You get that from these sort of lower league clubs that is a big part in the town. So people would have just got to know who your granddad was, right? And like the postman would have known. Yeah. It just becomes like a community sort of thing. It's I think when you get it right in non-league, it can be very special in that sense. There's even people at sort of Real Bedford, like there's one fan, I won't name him, who struggles internally, like with his mental health, and it's like the football is it's like his thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
can come there. It's like it means everything to him. It helps him out. It's like his week. It's
Just
just
building up to that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like if you can do that to someone through a football club,
Yeah.
like it's incredible. And I know that happens still at elite level.
Yeah.
But more so
You
at
get
these
that
levels because they
connection,
have interaction and connection with the players. It's like, I'm a massive Spurs fan. I went and flew out to Paris to watch them. There's no way I would ever get to see any of the players or speak to them. It's just impossible. You can't get within sort of 100 yards of them.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas for non-league football, they become like they're heroes. You know what I mean? Especially for kids, it's like
Definitely.
they can still sign and get stuff done. You can't do that at that top level anymore.
No.
Their signatures are worth so much money now.
Yeah.
It's just they're not allowed to.
I remember old Upton Park. I used to wait afterwards and you get my programme signed by the gate and all this sort of stuff, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
you can't do any of that anymore.
No, it's all a paid thing, isn't it? To get that, you'd have to pay a VIP package.
Yeah, it's all
a
money.
Mascot package for a kid that would cost thousands.
Yeah,
That's the only way you can get the signatures.
All joking aside, the Wrexham kind of model isn't that dissimilar, is it?
No, that I think that's what certainly Pete will look at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially sell sort of to the American investors. Like, look what sort of Ryan Reynolds and his name's lost. I've gone. But the two that have done it there and invested. That's a good way for Pete to go. Look,
this is what's doable.
Like what they've done.
Yeah.
On the verge of the Premier League now. Started off in non-league. Obviously, we started a lot lower, but it's still
and also the community
model.
side of it as well. They've what they've done for the community, the money that it brings in. Yeah. It's obviously they've got a big help with the size of the name and Amazon doing documentary and all that. Yeah. That's obviously not comparable, but what can achieve is definitely a similar model.
Obviously, it helped them. They obviously had a big fan base already. You know what I mean? So they obviously had that kind of buy-in from early. But like you said, in terms of I've played at Wrexham, it was horrible. You look what they're doing to the stadium. Yeah. Again, what they're doing within the town centre, it's literally just like they're transforming the whole of Wrexham, which from visiting it in years gone by, it's not the nicest of places.
No.
And now it's probably going to end up an unbelievable place to go and visit and see. And that has been generated from building up sort of the football club. So, yeah, I think that's kind of... it helps our cause in terms of going to Cameron and Tyler, who are American themselves. And to be seeing two Americans do it, again, we're talking back to the ego thing as well.
Definitely.
Drive them to go, well, if they can do it, we can do it. Yeah. And they're definitely more wealthy than those two. So it's like, it kind of gives them that fire to go and do it. And like I say, the fact they obviously come to a game last year and they were so involved, they were in the change room, jumping around with the lads after we won. I think it really just got them. They felt that connection, and now they're kind of like, we actually see what Pete's sort of trying to create. It helps that obviously Wrexham have done it, and are on the verge of getting to the Premier League.
They are absolutely flying, and it's good to see. It's good to see football, especially in this country, is the core of every city. I mean, even look at the Liverpool area, and there's more than one. London, how many big clubs are in London? It's nuts.
But it's the community.
It is. It's what brings everyone together. When it's going well, everyone's talking about it.
From children to in the pubs. For your elderly. Disability, everything. The amount that football clubs.
The buzz it creates
bring
is
people
nuts.
together. It's crazy. And people go, Wrexham have only done it through money. Well, you need money in football to be successful,
but
right?
In any business, right? You still need money. You can't just everything costs money. That's just how it is. But there's money, but there's doing it in the right way.
It doesn't mean it works.
No. And how many times have you seen it happen? You can't just chuck money at something and expect it to work. Yeah. Even look again, City is an example. They had loads of money, but it took a long time for them to get to anywhere near success.
I think the biggest thing to get through those levels is the community side. Yeah. Like Wrexham, would have always had a good budget in terms of playing, everything. Staff would have been on good money behind the scenes. They'd have probably had less volunteers than everyone, so they would have pumped money into it. Yeah. But if you don't get the community on side, the locals, the schools,
doing it the right way,
you're not going to get the consistent sort of fan base through it. So that's why I give Pete so much credit, because it's not just about football. Like, he's trying to do everything with the community, which will help the football and help that grow. And I think that's how you get the long-term kind of success. Short term, you can go in as an owner with money and just go bang, let's just go up through the levels, but nothing's going to grow.
No, it's about building that foundation for the long term.
Yeah, definitely. Because we took over at Real Bedford, there was no youth teams, nothing like that. Whereas now there's like 40 odd teams. You've got the boys, the girls, everything. They come to games. They sort of do the mascot stuff. It's just like building a club from literally nothing. That's why if we can keep going, it'd be pretty special, because like Wrexham's is special, but they're already a huge football club, a huge fan base. This is literally a club where you turn up, there's no one there when we started. So if we can keep going and going, it's never happened, has it? Really, let's be honest.
How many? I'm not that familiar with the sort of pyramid. How many levels off from sort of the National League?
We're one off National North South.
Yeah.
And then obviously then it goes National Prem.
Right.
Then League Two.
Yeah. Okay.
So really, we're National North and South are predominantly going sort of full-time football now. The teams that will be at the upper end, like in the North, Fylde and South Shields, they're 1 and 2. They're both full-time, so they train every day.
Right.
And then obviously into the South, you've got loads. Torquay will be full-time, Dorking.
Right.
There's 10 or 12, Chelmsford. So, you're pretty much one level off where it's getting full-time. And then the National League, but pretty much everyone is.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a mini League Two anyway now. It's that competitive. So you think where we were sort of 3 years ago, you're about 6-7 levels off it now. It's like, it's real. You're only one level off it, off clubs being full-time.
Yeah, you're a couple of promotions off.
The sort of going to the elite professional standard.
Yeah.
Which is great, scary.
How
there's a lot of work to be done.
I'd say how achievable. I mean, Wrexham have, and again, they've just bounced back. I mean, their first season with Phil Parkinson, they got on. They didn't get promoted to that first season, and then it was like promotion, wasn't it? That's unheard of.
Yeah. So I think we've won 3 leagues in a row.
Wow.
If we was to do 4, it would be history. It's never been done in football in terms of in non-league.
Yeah.
And Wrexham, they've done 3 because they didn't win it, so they've done 3 promotions.
Right.
And obviously City won the 4 leagues, didn't they? Which was history in terms of the Premier League. Where we're trying to get to, considering where the club was, is pretty crazy, really.
Yeah.
If we could manage to go up again, it would be pretty special. But there's so much work to be done, and you can't, like you say, you look at Wrexham. We're actually 2 levels off where they started in terms of the National League. You think their stadium, the fan base, the training facilities, everything they would have had in place already.
Yeah.
Like, we're nowhere near that.
No.
Until we've got that kind of training facility, stadium. You have to have that to get into those kind of levels. That's why it's so important, the work that Pete and everyone else is doing off the field, really. Yeah,
it's kind of, part of it is because of the speed of your promotions, you kind of, I would guess, maybe moved quicker than you maybe expected.
Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it? You don't want to sort of run before you can walk.
Yeah.
It's kind of, that's why having a little bit of a moment where you might not get promotions actually helps off the field, because you can kind of catch up.
Yeah.
Whereas if you keep going up, it takes years to get training facilities, stadiums.
You kind of run before you walk, and then you kind of once you go down, it's a slippery slope again, isn't it?
Yeah, because you don't want to have the off. If you don't have the off field all set up, it will quickly affect the on field, and then you can quickly come down. It's about sort of getting that right off the field. Look, on the field, you'll always strive for success and to win. You're not going to say no. You know what I mean? You'll find the solution to the problem if that arises. But they're working extremely hard to catch up and get it right off the field. It just takes patience from sort of my side, because you want it all straight away. I want the training facility. I want the stadium. But it's not as easy as that sometimes. For me, it's like, right, come on, give them time to do it.
Yeah, give him a couple of weeks and then push again.
Knock on his door. But no, it's great.
Yeah, it's exciting. It'd be good to get you back on again, sort of this time next year, and sort of see how the season progressed and what it looks like, because it's a fast moving thing, isn't it? There.
Yeah, and like you say, it's unique for non-league to progress how we have. So if we can continue that, it'd be pretty special.
Do you think that Bedford's giving kind of the Real Bedford movement the credit it deserved? Because I didn't know that it was 3 on the bounce.
No, probably not. Bedford Town is still the club that obviously people talk about, and people aren't going to give the credit because they'll naturally just go, oh, well, they've got loads of money.
Yeah.
But in the past, that would have affected me. I'd have been like, oh, why are my players not getting the credit? Myself, why am I not? Why are people not talking about the job I've done? But now that I've sort of done the work with myself, I'm like, who actually cares? We can only do what I can only do what I can do. My players can only do what they can do. I mean, people will always push anyone that's sort of being successful down because there's a bit of jealousy, bitterness, all of those things that creep into it. So has Pete and the football club got the credit they deserve? No, but ultimately, who actually cares?
Yeah.
So if you let it affect you, then it's only affecting you, isn't it?
It'd be interesting to see if the momentum, the feeling changes if there is that overtake.
I don't know. You can't. What, in terms of the Bedford Town fans?
Yeah, or not even, or just the general Bedford feeling.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think for the foreseeable future, it's always going to be people are going to back Bedford Town. I think if that ever did happen, sort of in the short term where we went above them, I think you'd probably get a core would go. I actually think Bedford Town would see a jump initially. Do you know what I mean? People would be like, oh no, let's get behind Bedford to try and get them back there.
Yeah.
It's just if that happened for a longer period, I think you'd slowly, you could see us overtaking. Do you know what I mean? Because naturally, the community, the youngsters, they're going to go to what team is higher up, right? That's usually what happens. Man City, now you see more. Well, I wouldn't have seen any Man City shirts when I was a kid.
No.
Whereas now you're seeing more of that. You're going to schools on their sort of non-school uniform day, you're seeing Man City shirts. And
you're also seeing all sorts of Arab shirts and stuff as well, aren't you? Yeah.
Saudis, But I think if it ever does happen and we go above them, if it's for a long period, like I said, I think you'll see sort of more like back in from sort of locals to Real Bedford. But I think for now it's still going to be Bedford Town because they're doing so well at the level they're at, and they're still having success, which is like credit to them, because for them to obviously win the league last year was like insane. The job Lee and the staff done there was outstanding. So for now they're still above us, but that's where we strive to keep going up the levels. I think there's for me certainly. Obviously, I was at Bedford Town at the latter stages of my career, and they looked after me when I was there. So I've got no sort of ill sort of malice against them. Do you know what I mean? I can't be to hold that in. What's the point? Do you know what I mean? I just want to be. I want the club to be successful that I'm at, and hopefully we can sort of get to the levels that they're at, and then surpass that and keep going. Yeah,
like I say, a healthy rivalry is always a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's what you want, I think. Again, with a younger generation, if you can ever have that in schools where one's a Bedford Town, one's a Real Bedford, it's quite cool, isn't it? It's always been in schools, United and Liverpool and Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham. If you could actually start sort of growing two Bedford sides that are doing well, it'd be great.
It's like anything in life. If I've got a sales background, if I'm a top salesperson and someone hunting me or they're top and I'm second, it's only going to make you want it more, work harder, commit more, think more outside the box. So it's only going to be a good thing. Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that's kind of what's happening at the minute. It is a healthy rivalry. Both clubs are
sort of pushing and doing well in their respective leagues, and hopefully one day it'd be good to actually sort of play against each other.
Yeah.
It's not happened since I've been there, so if we could draw each other in a cup or get in the same league,
that'd be good.
It'd be good to see like what would happen in the community then. Would there be 2, 3,
it'd be good to
4,000
see.
a
It'd be
game?
really
It'd be
good
interesting
turnout,
to know, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
What that would bring, because certainly then the town would be behind that. You imagine the sort of coverage that would be in the local press then. Real Bedford v Bedford Town, it would be a big thing. So
the parking would be a nightmare, but
they'd have to do buses from the town. Pete would have to put on special buses to get people into the game. But that would be cool if that could happen one day. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest of the season brings. Hopefully, it's a successful season.
Yeah.
And it'd be good to get you back on sort of next year.
Oh, definitely.
And see where we are and see what Real Bedford looks like, and see if you're one step closer to that golden professional.
We can only do what we can do, can't we?
Yeah.
Keep working hard and showing the courage to turn up and play our way. So hopefully we can get that success again.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for coming in. And
thank you.
Yeah, we'll I'll come down to a game as well and see.
Yeah, get down.
Yeah.
And see what it's all about.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice one. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.